What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 22 of the World's First. And today, Sheffield FC will be taking on Guiseley. But before we get to that, we must go over how we've been faring in the league thus far. We went on an almost unbeaten run. However, it wasn't really the unbeaten run I was looking forward to, so let's take a look and highlight the matches that we played. Following our win against Corby Town, we then took on Stockport at home and unfortunately came away with a 1-1 draw. Benny Igihan getting the only goal for us in the 47th minute. We took 12 shots, six of them on target, 54% possession. We outclassed Stockport in pretty much everything, including fouls, but unfortunately we were not good enough to come away with an eventual match winner. Overall, the team played above average. I thought for sure a second goal was going to be coming, but unfortunately, we only came away with a point on the day. There were more goals in this match, but unfortunately, the result was still the same. Against Bradford Park Avenue, we came away with a 2-2 draw. Benny Igihan getting a brace on the day was not enough, as Bradford's striker was able to get a brace of his own. We had 11 shots, 3 of them on target, majority possession. Once again, a team playing above average, especially the two strikers up front in Chris Hall and Benny Igihan, but unfortunately, we're not able to come away with a match-determining goal, a match-deciding goal. I thought for sure that either Chris or Benny would have come away with it, but it was not to be on the day. We just cannot get away from these draws. Our third straight draw, this time with no goals scored by anybody against Boston United at home. Only Przespolewski getting himself on the score sheet, but in a bad way with a yellow card. We had 11 shots, 5 on target, 58% possession. Thought for sure that a goal was going to be coming, but the match just went highlightless for the majority of the match. There was only the start of the first half, the start of the second half, one in between, and then the final highlights to end the match. It was rather unfortunate that we were not able to get anything, considering how well that we had dominated the match. But you know, that's that. A point is better than nothing, but at this point in time, I don't want to draw every single match from here on out. And finally, we were able to break our streak of draws as we came away with a 3-2 victory over Salford City. Elliot Pond getting himself a brace on the day, with the center attacking mid Danny Potter getting one more to round out our goal scoring in the first half. We did well enough to stop Salford in the first half, but in the second half they did come roaring back and almost knotted it up at the very death of the match, but we were able to come away with the victory. 12 shots, 6 on target, majority possession. Everyone played above average, and that's pretty much all you can say to get a quality win like this. 11 shots, 5 on target, 62% possession, and it still wasn't enough to get a goal versus Durham away from home. Lewis Kenny and Andy Gascoigne, however, getting cards. But that's pretty much all the names that were on the score sheet for the day. We played well above the talent of Durham. Durham only getting 3 shots, none of them on target. Durham, if you remember last season, were the Northern Premier League winners. So I felt that with how we were playing against them today, I felt that we could have come away with the victory. Clearly, their defense has stayed the same as it did in the league below, but I thought for sure that Elliot Pond and Danny Potter would have come away with the goal. Unfortunately, not on this day. Maybe next time when we get them at home. Where are all these 0-0 draws coming from? This is our third 0-0 of the season, this time against Leamington. Leamington only getting 1 shot total throughout the entirety of the match. The defense held stalwart, however the attack has started to fizzle out, and it's been very evident over these last 4 matches, where 3 of them have been 0-0 draws. Benny Igihan, Chris Hall, very lackluster, a very underwhelming performance. The only 2 shots on target came from Danny Potter, who was playing in that attacking center mid role. 57% possession. What more can I say? The team is doing well enough on paper that they can win these matches, but unfortunately the only thing they're taking away is yellow cards. No goals, no assists, and that's really bad for the morale. I can't really stand any more 0-0 draws in this season, to be quite honest with you. Well, it wasn't a draw, but unfortunately it wasn't a win either, as we lost away from home to first place Filed by the score of 3-2. Benny Igihan getting himself a pair of goals in the second half. However, Filed were up 3-0 by that time, and unfortunately, we were playing on the back heel from the start. 11 shots, 5 on target, 57% possession. The possession did not ultimately lead to a lot of goals. However, we did, like I said, did get back into the match in the final 5 minutes, but that was well out of the realm of possibility to try and tie it up at that point. Filed had closed down their defense, brought everyone back, and made it virtually impossible to get a shot off. So, unfortunately, this is our first loss of the season, but after a long string of draws, this one loss really hurt us. And so after that string of matches, this is exactly where we placed. We were sitting in 9th place, which isn't too bad on the surface, but just take a look at that record. Only 2 wins compared to 5 draws and 1 loss to get 11 points. As you see, Filed sitting up top with Ilkeston, Telford, Chorley, and Lowestoft all in the playoff spots, But I feel like those draws, all those 0-0 draws, should have been, at the very least, 1-0 wins. I felt like there should have been goals in there. Maybe we could have gotten another 6 points out of this, that we could possibly be up near the top of the table this early in the season. But I'm not going to get too worried about it right now. It's still early on. We have 42 matches in this league. We still have 34 to go, so I'm gonna play it cool right now. 9th place is a lot better than what the press were predicting. The press, if you see here, we're predicting us to finish all the way down in 22nd, dead last, and get relegated right back to the Northern Premier. But we are going above and beyond the Call of Duty. We are going above expectations, and to be quite honest with you, I expected to do a lot better than last place. With the team we had a chance to finish mid-table at the very worst. And right now, being in 9th place is exactly where this team is supposed to be, where we're expected to be. So with that in mind, let's just get right into the next match here against Guiseley. As you can see, Guiseley are sitting down in 10th place. I was looking up and down the table. It was like, where are Guiseley? Oh yeah, they're sitting right below us. So it's a match between 2 middle-of-the-road teams and who can push up the table the furthest early on in this season. And as we're going to be away from home, we're going to be using this 4-4-2 narrow diamond system. I did tweak it up a little bit. The defensive mid role is now an anchorman position, which fits Ollie Norris's player roles a lot better. He's not really that good as ball-winning mid as I had it set, so I'm playing him as an anchorman. And as well, I believe the box-to-box midfielder in Adrian Anderson can play either support or attack. So I have that in support right now, and whereas we switch it to home. Actually, if we switch it to home, the ball-winning mid goes from defense to support. I forgot about that. But yeah, this is what we're going to be rolling with, and this is going to be the starting 11. We're going to have Callum Williams in net, Morton, Kennedy, Lewis, and Duxbury along the back line with Norris in that defensive mid role. Adrian Anderson and Andy Gascoigne, the 2 center mids, and Danny Potter sitting in the AMC. And the 2 strikers, of course, the ones that have been there pretty much the entirety of the season. Benny Aguihan from the beginning of the save. Obviously, Benny Aguihan and Elliot Pond. So, let's kick off, see what happens. Hopefully it's not a draw. I'd love to come away with a win against a team like Guiseley. Who knows? Let's kick off and see what happens. And there really hasn't been much of anything as the clock is ticking down towards the end of the first half. Sheffield only 1 shot. It was on target, but we did not get a single highlight out of it. Excuse me, I didn't even press the play button right there as I was making a change. But as you can see, the time is slowly ticking away. We're going to come into halftime with 56% possession, but only 1 shot taken. I don't want another 0-0 draw, especially away from home. Well, if it was at home, it would make it a lot worse. Well, if it was at home, it would be a lot worse, but I don't want to see any more 0-0 draws. I think that may be because I tweaked the tactic up just a little bit too much to be a little bit more defensive. Maybe it needs to be maybe it needs to have a little more oomph to it. Maybe it has to be a little bit more attacking minded, because 1 shot against a Guiseley team that's just sitting back in a 4-4-2 and not really doing much is really hindering my chances at winning. So let's just go back out there, second 45. I'm not going to tweak anything up too much, but let's just go back out there and see what happens. Finally, we get our first highlight, but unfortunately, it's not to our liking, but it goes wide. A shot for Guiseley goes wide. It's another highlight with about 20 minutes left to go in this game. Good save from Callum Williams. The defense looking extremely knackered. Now we're going to make those subs. Kieran Coupe normally plays out on the right, but he's going to have to take over for Duxbury on the left. And Jack Broadhead is going to come in for Kyle Lewis. Yes, it's more of defensive changes, but at this point in time, we need help on the defensive side. We cannot allow Geisley to continue doing this to us. We really need to hold him down, maybe switching it up. I did switch up to a little bit more attacking notion, maybe dropping it back to what we had at the start. It will prove to be, to hold him down. But at the same time, we're not getting off shots. That's what bugs me the most, but whatever, we'll go with this. So there's 11 minutes to go in this match, and we did steal that ball off. Kieran Coupe, long ball over the top to Benny Igihan, actually found him. Przespolewski, don't pass it. Or, I meant don't shoot it. Danny Potter! Oh, Danny, boy. The goals were calling. And it looks like for the 4th time this season, we're going to have ourselves a 0-0 draw. Oh my god. Danny. He's going to be kicking himself over that one. We should have had all 3 points. That was a lovely pass from Alec to Anderson to Potter. And Potter shot it wide. I thought for sure that was going in. But instead, it's a 0-0 draw. Our 4th 0-0 draw of this season. And I'm far from pleased with what I've seen. I'm not going to tell them we are unfortunate. I'm far from pleased because overall, the team did not do well enough. We only had 1 shot on target, obviously save, but with that draw, that pumps us down into 11th. I don't want to have the record amount of draws in a season. I don't want to be the Chicago Fire who set the record amount of draws a couple of seasons ago in the MLS. I don't want to have that. I want to try and win some matches, and there are definitely some winnable matches on the horizon, but as of right now, we are floundering. We have a very anemic offense. Only scoring 5 goals in the last 5 matches, is it now? It's not good. Oh well. Let's take a look at the schedule and see what we have next on as our opponents. So this is what the schedule looks like for the upcoming couple of months. We have second place Ilkeston coming up next, then Solihull Moors, then the second qualifying round, the FA Cup, as well as FC United of Manchester. Those are 2 matches I really wanted to do, and the FA Trophy down there, I want to highlight that as well, because I really want to do well in the FA Trophy this year, and I don't want to come back in any match in between that. There's nothing in there that makes me say I want to take them on. But FC United of Manchester is the big one. FA Cup, since it's a cup match, it's always big. Same thing with the FA Trophy. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Since the FA Cup draw is only 2 days out, we'll go through that. We'll see who we draw against. And then next episode, it will be that opponent and FC United of Manchester. Because FC United Manchester, always a good draw. So let's take a look at who we're going to face in the second qualifying round. Alright then, enough suspense. I mean, there's how many teams in here? 160. I'm not going to go automatic draw and, wait 5 minutes just to see when we come up. We're just going to draw all teams, and who are we going to face? Random number generator, do your worst. The random number generator is thinking. We are down here. We're going to be taking on Boston United away from home. Of course, Boston United, we drew against them 0-0 earlier on in this season. In fact, just highlighted earlier in this episode. So, when we come back, it's Boston United in the FA Cup and FC United of Manchester. For the rare double upload day, now that I've switched my format to single uploads, now it's just going to be a double upload. So, until that time, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new and you want to see more FM content on the channel. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything else, please in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out. Why did I say double upload? I meant double live com. I can't speak words today.